We're on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Unnamed Opinion Show. I'm Frankie.
Goose.
I'm General Dank.
All right, and today we're going to talk about Fairweather Fans. Now, what exactly is a Fairweather fan, you may ask? You may hear the term. It's basically a person who roots for usually a sports team or player when they win and don't when they lose. Like, they don't become fans anymore. They just don't like the team. I don't like them. They kind of piss me off because I met Mets fans and they're the sole polar opposite definition of that. It's kind of amazing to think that they are pretty good at rooting for a team that really knows how to fail. Like, is the celebrity chef at failing.
Isn't the team, what was that name? The Mets are the Amazings or something like
The
that?
Amazing Mets,
The
yeah.
Amazing
You
Mets,
gotta
yeah.
believe.
Yep.
Gotta believe they really suck.
The Miracle Mets. I think that's a better name for it because that's just a fucking miracle that they even have one World Series, let alone two.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. How about the Jets? Let's go into that, because that's a little bit more of a contentious thing, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And
We just gotta talk about the Jets,
yeah,
don't
because
we?
the Jets, I mean, fuck, they got rid of Mark Sanchez, and we were bitching about him being on the team. Now he looks like a decent quarterback on the Eagles.
Yeah, that's probably something we can talk about. I definitely have a lot to say about that on our Sports Sunday.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it in the next episode we do on Sports Sunday. But for now, Goose, why are you a Jets fan?
I first started as a Jets fan in the late '90s. And back then, the Jets were making the playoffs with quite a bit of success. The Giants were really not much of anything at the time.
Okay.
I will say this: my brother always laments. He was the one who put me onto the Yankees back in the mid '90s, and he always said he kicks himself for not doing the same thing with the Giants because I kind of found the Jets on my own. And he's a big Giants fan, so he always regrets that. In fact, he didn't even find out I was a Jets fan until like the early 2000s. I think I was actually already in high school.
Oh wow! So what was that like? Was he like?
He caught me playing what's it called?
Madden?
An earlier Madden game. He saw me using the Jets, and he was like,
"Why are you using the Jets?"
Yeah, and I was like, I like the Jets. And I don't remember his reaction, but it wasn't good. I know that.
Did he start like yelling in Greek or something?
No, he didn't start yelling. Like I said, he blames himself, so he was probably like, "Oh fuck, I fucked up here."
Yeah.
So that's why I whenever I get into something, here's the thing, I always go for the New York team, no matter what.
Even the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying like I always go for the New York team, and if there's more than one, I'll pick the more successful team.
You'll pick the more successful team.
Okay, but technically, the team that's actually, have a stadium in New York is Buffalo.
Actually, technically, no. Well, yeah, the Buffalo. They're about to say the Giants. I was about to say they're in New Jersey. They should technically be called New Jersey Nets and the New Jersey Giants.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Well, okay. That's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, they did that with the Statue of Liberty. It's on New Jersey land, but New York technically owns the building. They own the building on New Jersey land.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
So won't they be called the New Jersey Giants?
This is...
Or the New Jersey Jets?
Yes, they would be. If
they should be.
I mean, honestly, I don't care. I mean, the Giants beat the Patriots at the best time possible. Super Bowl 42.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I kind of like them. And the reason why I hate the Patriots so much was because during the early 2000s, when did they start their whole Tom Brady dynasty
Patriots,
thing?
Tom Brady first came around,
2000.
Like 7?
No, it was way before that.
Way before that, really?
2003, I think?
Yeah, that means we were in grade school. Wow, that early.
Yeah, no, it was really early. As a matter of fact, yeah, I think it was 2003 because I think 2004 was the Steelers. So I want to say 03, 05, 07. I don't know the exact years, but it was around that time.
Around that time. Yeah, for me, it was like everyone who didn't know anything about football now all of a sudden got into the Patriots and Tom Brady. And everyone, and I mean everyone, was a fucking Patriots fan.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. You had people who liked the Giants, in school because, they were a New York team, whatever. The Jets, they had Jets fans too, obviously. But
yeah, we exist.
The Patriots, people were just Patriots fans because they wanted to root for the fucking fair weather team.
It's true. And you know what's funny is when you call someone out on it, they'll always be like, "What? No! I've loved the Patriots since I was in the womb." Every single Patriots fan will come back at you with that.
No, I remember, and I remember distinctly. I don't consider myself knowledgeable about sports. I'm like the average guy, if you want. I don't even claim to know shit about sports other than what I've seen. So I used to collect, those little the fucking helmets that used to come in the gumball machines.
Yes.
Me and one of my uncles have had a race toward a collection of them, and I remember the last one he needed were the New England Patriots, and I had never even heard of this team.
Right.
And I'm not sure, they used to be called something else. I'm not sure when they became the New England Patriots, but it was, I don't know if it was around the time that I was collecting it. I was about like 8 or 10, so 20-something years ago. Around that, I'm not sure like what they were called. But anyway, I've never heard of this team, and no one has heard of this team. I've never heard another person utter New England Patriots. I like the Patriots. The Patriots are good. Patriots are awesome. I've never heard of it. None. Until Tom Brady came along.
Yeah. And they were a shitty team. They were a shitty team before he came around.
Yeah.
Before Bill Belichick joined the team.
Right. And it's really like, I would want to give them the credit that they deserve, and I still do. It's just a matter of the fact that I do not like people who just go from nowhere out of like, oh, I used to be a Patriots fan. Oh, I claim to be this. It's the fakeness of it.
So what do you consider to be a fan?
Someone, all right, take for instance boxing.
Right.
If Mayweather loses in his professional, when he gets his first professional loss, you're going to see a gang fuck of black people who were fans just because of the fact that he was black turn on a dime immediately.
Right.
Because you've seen that. I've seen that with Tyson. I didn't even think that back that far ahead. I've seen it with Tyson. I just know when they talk about it, like when people talk to me about boxing, they don't know anything about it. I used to not know anything about it too. I got into it a little bit, and I'm like, these people are just fucking retarded. You're just rooting for him because he's black. It's a race war.
Right.
They're gonna turn on him on a dime. I haven't seen one black person who doesn't know anything about boxing with the same attitude root for Anthony Hopkins. I would root for Anthony Hopkins. He got knocked out by Kovalev, but I mean, it goes to show you that the Russians are taking boxing, which I'm for. Because if you want a race war, you know what? I'll pick the Russians at this point. Triple G is my boy. Good boy Golovkin, man. I really hope he knocks the fuck out of Mayweather someday.
Maybe never.
It'll never happen. No, Triple G has to do it for free. That's the only way Mayweather will fight anyone. It's like, I want 100-0, and you get nothing. Here's $1. Go buy yourself a fucking stick of gum. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
someone's phone's ringing.
All right, someone didn't silence their phone. We can edit that out.
Sorry about that.
No, that's cool. I like that. It sounds like it should have like the intermission music. That's it. It'd be great.
All right, so
anyway, yeah.
So how about this? Okay, when the Jets got to 2-8, that's when I went to go see them defeat the Steelers. But then I didn't watch the game after that. And the reason why I didn't do that is because, look, as a fan of a sport, and this isn't being a Fairweather fan, when a team is 2-8 with no hope in sight and the playoffs are pretty much dead, what the fuck am I going to do watching a game that they're just going to get their asses demolished?
But not only that, it's repeated.
Yeah, like you know they have no talent on that team. So what if it's like a person who like kind of follows the team, knows what's going on, but just doesn't watch the games because fuck, they're gonna get their asses kicked. And if they win, I mean, who the fuck saw that coming? What do you think about that?
Me personally, I mean, if it comes down to the fact where you're just paying money, you're shelling out money to go see a team that doesn't perform, then in that case, it's kind of understandable.
No, I don't mean like going to the game. I mean watching it on TV.
Oh, watching it on TV. You don't necessarily have to be obsessive about it. If you're obsessive, I mean that's fine. I wouldn't consider you a fair weather fan if you just didn't watch the game. I don't watch every football game, but I like seeing specific players play because they perform.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I don't consider myself to be a Peyton Manning fan, but I like him better than other quarterbacks.
Okay.
If you were to ask me, I don't have a jersey of him. I don't watch every one of his games. It's not like I don't want to. It's just that I'm not interested enough personally to do something like that.
Right.
I don't go around claiming that I'm a Broncos fan or I'm a Colts fan.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there were a lot of Colts fans that weren't Colts fans anymore when Peyton Manning left the Colts.
Possibly.
Went to the Broncos.
It's possible. Yeah.
Half of them probably became Broncos fans.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't really consider that fandom. It's more like the word fan is short for fanatic. Now,
right.
Now fanatic in that sense, I'm not expecting you to wield a fucking sword and start killing people. Although if that's your thing, you may want to see someone. But for me, you have to have your devotion to the Jets. I would consider you a true Jets fan.
Okay, that's good, I guess.
One of my cousins who is a Mets fan, even though he loves the winning teams mostly, he is a Mets fan. I did not understand that. So,
right.
I mean, I would guess that his uncles were Mets fans too, and that's why he became a Mets fan. I actually had two uncles. One was a Yankees fan, the one who I was collecting the football helmets with, and the other one was a Mets fan. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, let me choose, because that was it. I mean, for me, I like the New York team. I think for me it came to a head when the Subway Series happened. That for me was like choose a team.
Yeah,
that is true.
You had to, yeah.
I really wanted at the time the 2000 Mets with Mike Piazza to win.
Wow,
it was heartbreaking.
Wow, look at that.
I was.
Did he even win a freaking World Series?
Nah, he never won one in his career.
Nah, he never won a World Series, man.
Actually, that was like his own chance.
Actually, the Dodgers won a World Series.
After he left?
I don't know. I don't know if it was after he left.
Jink, you got anything? I'll pull it up now. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I'm having this sort of discussion more towards like Patriots fans specifically, and I knew that was gonna happen. Patriots fans and Mayweather fans, because those are two groups of people I really can't stand.
I'm surprised that you didn't say LeBron James fans.
LeBron, you want to know something? LeBron kind of grew on me. I have someone that I've been talking to recently who said he was really nice to her when she met him.
Well, that's good.
And she's not that attractive, so I'm guessing he was. He was at least nice for a little bit.
Yes.
That, I mean, like, all right, he's a little bit more human.
He seems like a cool guy. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I've never met the guy, but he seems like a cool guy.
Okay.
All right, but you know, I feel like LeBron fans are the worst of the worst because of the fact that at least Patriots fans are picking a team. I mean, sure, another team will become a dynasty later on, and they might jump to that team, but LeBron, it's like, I love the Cavs. The Cavs are the greatest team. He goes to the Heat, and it's like, yes, the Heat. I'm a huge Heat fan. Now he's back on the Cavs. They're big Cavs fans again.
Oh, LeBron being a Fairweather fan himself?
No. I'm talking about the people who love LeBron James.
Oh,
they claim to be a fan of whatever team he's on.
Right? Yeah.
That's taking it far. I mean, personally, I believe it's fine to be a fan of a player just based on his talent. But as long as you don't take it as far as to say that you're now a fan of that team because of it, and then the team you don't give a shit once the player starts to decline.
What about being a fan of a player? And you know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
where you're
exactly. Because you want to segue and say, what about a player who's pretty decent and who I believe was on a shitty team during his peak and got injured too much. That for me would be Carson Palmer. Yeah, I really think that.
I would say Carson Palmer. Look, I can understand you liking a player based. I can understand if you like a certain body of a player's work. I can understand you saying like, man.
I mean, if he's a douchebag in real life,
right? Yeah, but I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
I'm talking about the guy's talent. I can understand if someone were to say, man, Carson Palmer from the beginning of his career until like 2005 was great. Like that was just a great player. Cool. I can understand you being a fan of that Carson Palmer. But if it was me, let's take a player that I really liked at one point. At one point, one of my favorite players in all of baseball was Albert Pujols.
Right.
The guy was a fucking freak. The guy pretty much ended a pitcher's career by hitting a home run off of him. And the ball went so fucking far that it would have left the stadium if that's, you see, he hit it out of Minute Maid Park in Houston, and Houston has a retractable dome, and he hit it so hard to where it actually hit this pane of, I don't know if it's plexiglass or some really strong glass. It didn't hit the dome. It hit the glass between the top of the wall of the stadium and the dome. You see what I mean? So it was kind of like glass supporting the beam structure that held the retractable dome.
I mean, that's as close as I'm getting to a description of that without looking at it. But
this ball, without that pane of whatever the hell it hit, easily would have traveled 600 feet. It would have been a modern-day record.
Who was the pitcher that he ended?
Brad Lidge. He didn't end his career, but Brad Lidge was never the same pitcher after that. It was in the playoffs.
Wow.
He was never the same. Brad Lidge was dominant. And then Albert Pujols stuck his gigantic fucking dick inside of Brad Lidge's ass.
Not a bat.
No, just his whole dick. And he used spit as lube. Pretty much ended his career. Huge fan of Albert Pujols back in the day.
And he ejaculated on the first baseman.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, at the time the Astros were winning something in the way of like 2-1. It was a 2-run home run in the 9th inning. So the Cardinals took the lead in the 9th with 1 out. So I was a huge Pujols fan. Pujols fan. Until he went to the Angels, and he fucking sucks. He's not a very good player now. And
how big of a contract?
I think he's getting paid something in the neighborhood of $27-28 million a year on average.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
So
that's pretty.
Yeah, that is pretty. What wasn't pretty was his playing. So I stopped being a fan of his.
Okay.
Still recognize the great body of work he had put in, and I can say that, from 2000, I don't know when he started, 2002 to 2011, man, Albert Pujols was great. But now he sucks dick.
Right. So I guess in that way, I feel the same way about Carson Palmer. I don't say he sucks dick. I mean, yeah, he will suck. Every athlete will have their bad day or bad year. It's just a matter of, do I still think the guy is a decent athlete? And I think so about Carson Palmer. I would think you think the same about Albert Pujols, no?
I don't think he's a decent athlete.
You don't think he's a decent athlete?
He sucks now.
He sucks that bad that you're like, fuck him. Like, at that point?
At that point, right now, I do not... It's tough because I don't want to say I'm not a fan of his because of that huge body of work that he had put in, but I'm not as much of a fan of his.
What about if he was on the Yankees?
No, that would make it worse. Now they're paying him $28 million to be a shitty player? Fuck that.
Which is how we have A-Rod.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to figure this out. Carson Palmer, isn't he the quarterback, right?
Yes.
He's quarterback.
How the hell you put him in the Yankees for baseball?
No. He's talking about Pujols.
Yeah, we're talking about Anyway,
see, that's where I got confused for a moment.
Okay,
all right,
yeah.
I mean, just get that clear.
So would I now say, regardless of, even considering what Pujols has done, would I say now he's a great athlete? No. Would I say he's even close to a good athlete? No.
Carson Palmer?
No, I'm talking about Pujols. Yeah.
Okay. So he just sucks now.
He sucks, yeah.
Okay.
He had like a glimpse of being okay in the first half of this season, but then it all went downhill.
I guess I could say the same about Carson Palmer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Shit.
Although Palmer's problem was a freak incident, whereas Pujols is kind of a predicted thing at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that gets me, and that's why I still consider myself a fan. It's not. I mean, granted, he's been injured, and a bunch of setbacks have happened. But for me, I saw that. I pretty much considered Carson Palmer to be a top. Like, he had talent. And then he got injured, and then fucking was overshadowed when he was on the Bengals. That's why I am a fan of him, because he stuck it out through this fucking far, and it's like he still has it.
Right.
You've seen him in the game this year. I forgot which one it was, but fucking he did well. He looked like his old self again when he was on top. Now he got fucking injured.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happens.
That sucks, because it was a pretty good reclamation project for him.
Yeah.
He's prone to injury, isn't it? Like Stanford.
He's prone to injury, yeah.
Stanford's
Fucking
also...
Brady would be prone to injury too if he didn't have a fucking cushy O-line.
Hold it, time out. It's not that Carson Palmer was prone to injury. There were freak incidents of players slamming into his knee.
Right, and they didn't make the fucking rule for Carson Palmer, but they sure did it for good old California-faced Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But
that's my problem.
He does have kind of a point.
Me?
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When Tom Brady got injured,
dude was like, no, I'm white.
We gotta make this rule.
Yeah,
we gotta protect our quarterback.
Dude, if I was a middle linebacker, I would smash every single bone of time. I would fucking kill him.
Yeah.
If I was Roy Williams, I would be like, no, I'm playing middle linebacker. Let me get this shit.
No,
but they kind of did the same thing for Peyton Manning too, though. Like, Peyton Manning he also kind of had tailor-made rules for him.
Fine, fair enough. Yeah, the whole overtime shit.
Yeah, the overtime thing was totally the top
I
of the
thought
Peyton
that was
Manning
a little
rule.
stupid.
True.
I think
No. Was it Peyton? Yeah, it was Peyton.
Yeah, well, Peyton Manning's always the one sitting on the sidelines like, oh, look, the other team kicked a field goal to win. Again.
Right. It's like, who does that for, like, specific players?
You know what? It's marketability, man. That's what it is. The NFL's a business at the end of the day.
Let me ask you something. Do you remember Roy Williams?
Roy Williams.
Not the wide receiver, the strong safety for the Cowboys.
Roy Williams. Oh, no. I think I only remember the wide receiver.
He had a fucking NFL rule not named after him, but it was because of him. And it was the no horse collar tackle.
Yes.
That is Roy Williams.
He fucked up another player.
Yeah.
Big time. Shattered both his legs, I think.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was Tom Brady. Really do.
Yeah, that would be nice. But you know what? Going back to the Patriots fans again. Earlier this season, the Patriots were looking bad. They were like 1-2 at one point. And there was actual talk among Patriots fans. Like, we're talking about like message boards where people talk about the Patriots. Mm-hmm. They wanted Tom Brady traded. They didn't want Tom Brady anymore.
Wow.
They freak out, and they're like, oh, shit.
He's bad.
And now he's fucking awesome again. And that's really the mindset of the Fairweather fan.
Which I can't stand. It's like, you gotta take the good with the bad, no?
Yeah, yep.
That's what I say. Like, that's why I consider myself a Carson Palmer fan. I kind of was just sort of miffed at the fact that you were telling me, like, I don't understand how you're a fan of his.
I think that's the same thing that's going with the Knicks right now. They're doing jack shit, suck.
Oh yeah, everyone's quiet.
Get rid of Phil Jackson now.
Oh, I didn't even hear anyone say that shit. They ought to suck their own dick if they think that.
No, I heard people said that.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. No, Knicks fans are definitely, and NBA fans in general are pretty big Fairweather fans. In general, like,
I guess that's why I don't even like basketball.
Cleveland Cavaliers,
yeah.
For another example.
I mean, the Knicks have their own Fairweather fans. Back when Jeremy Lin played for them, mm-hmm. If you had asked the average person who was like, "Oh yeah, Knicks," if you asked, "Hey, can you name me one player that's not Carmelo Anthony on that team?" They'd be like, Is
Carmelo Anthony's still on the Knicks?
Yeah, he just signed a 5-year deal with them.
Max contract as well.
I mean, they might have named Amari Stoudemire, but then other than that, shit. Hell, IDK. My BFF Jill.
Wow, alright, way to take me back to the past. Jesus.
I don't know the names of the new players. That's the one thing I don't got. I got the old ones, that's all I got.
But you don't claim to be some huge Knicks fan.
Yeah, but at least I know more than
You probably know more than the Fairweather fans back then did. But whatever, I'm kind of glad that the Knicks are doing shitty right now because you know what? All those Fairweather fans are back in their hole.
Yeah. Yeah,
they'll be back out
them until they have like another Asian guy from Harvard playing
What
again.
about the Rangers when they were all the way in the
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh god.
Here's where maybe contentious for me because I am somewhat of a Rangers fan only because I live in New York and not out of obligation, but I like the Rangers. I'm also a Canadiens fan. I'm a Canadiens fan for this specific reason. When I go to Montreal, when the Canadiens are in the playoffs, you know how we have the Yankee parade when they win the World Series?
Yep.
Imagine that times 20 for the entire city, the entire duration of the playoffs that they're in.
Well, because you're probably not under arrest up there.
No. Actually, the last time I went to Montreal was Game 7 Stanley Cup. It was them versus the Bruins, Game 7. And
by last year's Stanley Cup, you mean the one before the most previous one?
The last one that happened.
Because the last one that happened, the Rangers were in it.
The Rangers were in it, yes.
You said Stanley Cup Finals.
The playoffs.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs. They didn't... No. Yeah, I understand that. It was the Rangers versus the Kings in the Stanley
okay.
Cup
All
Finals.
right,
I'm talking about when they were in the playoffs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. They won, and it was basically like there would have been a soccer riot either way.
Nice.
That's how Montreal fans look at it's like soccer. That's how they look at hockey.
Right.
It's like pretty much like soccer.
Yeah, that's their thing.
That for me is the pinnacle of fandom. That is like you don't give a fuck about working tomorrow. Like my cousin was telling me, like he was a few blocks away. I didn't know this. He was at the Bell Arena. He actually like jumped in. Like he didn't pay tickets or anything. He just got through. Like the arena.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of from an American standpoint, that just sounds alarming because terrorists and all that shit. But for me, that's how you know you really like a team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's why I'm a little bit of a Canadian fan. It's like if people really are that passionate about something that it won't do it. Like when they lost, it was probably heartbreaking. Like they probably had like a national day of bereavement.
They probably rioted
or
again
just a
anyway.
provincial one.
They probably just rioted either way.
Probably. Yeah.
But it was like rioting out of anger instead
either that
of...
or they were too drunk to do it. And I'm like, fuck it.
All right, so here's a question.
Sure.
Let's say someone's not a huge fan of a team. They don't claim to be. Mm-hmm. In fact, let's say they even go as far as to say, yeah, I'm kind of a Fairweather fan. What do you think of that?
If they admit it, then I'm okay with it. I'm somewhat okay with it.
And then
I would just really point it out that you're just being sort of a hypocrite at that point.
Okay. And then when they do that, when they do admit that kind of thing, how much celebration on their end would you say they are entitled to?
In terms of like celebration.
Let's say they win the championship. That team wins the championship. How much celebration is that?
They are
self-identifying?
entitled to their own celebratory festivities. If they would, I just don't want to be put in my face. That's where I really have the problem. It's being put in my face. You can fucking root for the goddamn Raiders if you want, or the Buccaneers. You can root for any team when they're winning, as long as it's not in my face when you don't deserve it, when you clearly don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. Because you're not really a fan. I mean, it's almost like soccer here. Like people from their father nations, they root for. If your mother was Dutch, you root for the Netherlands team. If you're Italian, you root for the Italy team. It's kind of like that over here. Like that is probably the real formation of Fairweather fans. You say NBA is more than I think when the World Cup in America, like people rooting for, they're Fairweather fans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For me, I mean personally, I consider. Yeah, I didn't know who any of those soccer players were until they were in the World Cup. Until they were fighting for. I didn't even know who was still on the 2016 or the 2010 team, or the 2014 team.
You know what? I think that's, to me, in my opinion, that's kind of different because we did the same thing for the Olympics. It's not like...
It's a nationalist thing.
It's a nationalist thing, but also what I'm thinking is, like, this World Cup craze that hits us every 4 years, it's like the Olympics. Like, when are you going to watch curling ever? Like if you're flipping through the channels, you just find curling.
I don't think most people watch that shit. You know what they really go for?
What?
Unless they watch it religiously, they just want to hear how many medals we won and how many of them are gold.
Okay,
yeah, that's really what it comes down to. It's like,
but there also are people who sit there and just watch the TV when the Olympics are on.
Sure.
Gymnastics, that little fucking thing with the ribbon. What is that? Stop it. Can I just go on a quick aside? Stop it. But then other than that,
I have no idea what you're talking about. What ribbon?
there's this one fucking sport where it's like they're dancing and there's like a stick with a ribbon on it.
Oh.
And they're like, oh,
yeah, I know what
he
you're
made
talking
it do like a twirly thing. He gets an 8.7. Stop it. But when...
What about when female Russian gymnasts do it? Who's complaining now?
Okay, now I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
but,
there you go.
But,
there you go.
But they watch it when the men do it too, is what I'm saying. It's like, who the fuck would watch that unless...
I guess women would. I would hope so.
But no, there's like people who sit at their TV, people like you, like me, and they watch the entire Olympics, and they sit through the part with the ribbon thingy. Like, who would do that
if it was me, personally, I would say it's background noise for me. It's like, it's something to watch at a bar. It's like, all right, cool, whatever.
But there are some people that when the Americans do win, like you say, it's a nationalist thing, they're happy about it. And that's really what happens with the World Cup. Yeah. They don't give a shit that the World Cup is on. They give a shit that the United States is competing in something.
Or and they give a shit that they win because apparently they're never going to win.
Or their mother or father teams win because up until recently, the U.S. was never a contender for the World Cup.
Right.
Up until now. And we imported our shit. We outsourced
our
soccer.
Hell yeah.
That is true.
So, pretty much.
The team from Switzerland has a ton of Albanians on it.
Right, yeah. I mean...
But that happens.
No, yeah, of course. Every team does it now. It stands to reason.
I will point out there is, like... a FIBA, not a FIFA. It's FIBA for basketball.
Oh yeah.
Nobody watches that.
Yeah,
I never even heard of it.
Well, I mean, I think nobody watches FIBA because it's a fucking foregone conclusion that the United States is gonna win.
Dude, they haven't lost for 6 years.
That's come on, not 6 years.
So
not 6 years.
Hang
Six
on.
competitions.
So 6 competitions. Who won before that? Does anybody remember who that won that before?
I don't even know.
6 competitions times 4 is 24 years ago. Oh, they must have won more than 6.
Yeah, definitely.
They must have won more than 6 competitions ago.
But it's...
The only thing I can think of them not winning a competition is maybe...
Argentina?
No, I'm thinking like maybe back in like the 50s when they would probably only send college kids.
Right.
You know, and everything was just... fucking 5'5" Jewish dudes playing, and then here comes Bill fucking Russell. That's fucking horse shit. Yeah. That's not fair. They got a big fucking black guy on their team.
Hey, if it works,
I guess so.
Fuck it.
I
wouldn't, but hey, someone would.
It's just like it's one of those leagues or basically competitions you don't care to see because you know the result, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's FIBA. That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's like we're always gonna be good at that. And in soccer, we're not ever good. We're gonna lose every time.
Right. So that's the kind of thing where I absolutely do not accredit that to like fair weather fandom. Maybe a little bit. Because I always feel like every year, no matter what...
There's already an entry to... It's already a barrier to entry. It's like you really got to watch this shit to really be a fan of it.
Yeah, like every time, whether they're good or not, whether there's any talk of them making any serious contention for years now, people tune into the World Cup, so that kind of gets a pass on my end.
Right.
Yeah, but they're never going to... I don't see the U.S. probably ever going to win the World Cup for the next 100 years.
Well,
next 100 years?
I don't know. That's
not.
I mean,
you can say that about the Cubs. I don't know about the fucking.
That's not something you can predict, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
I will predict.
Would you bet your life on it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You're gonna be alive that fucking long.
All right. So what else do we got? So we got.
Yeah, we went through all of that. I mean, boxing would be the only thing I would.
Yeah, we got the Patriots fans. We got the Mayweather fans. We got the LeBron fans.
Yeah.
Who are other offenders?
Other than that.
That's it. Really, you just only think of, unless you name any other sport, UFC, but UFC is what it is. I mean,
the women's right now, currently, there is only...
Yeah, I forgot her name.
Ronda Rousey.
There we go, thank you.
Where she's dominating...
She sounds like a carnival ride, I'm not gonna lie. Her name sounds like I want to go on the Tilt-A-Whirl. I want to go on the Ronda Rousey. No offense to you, but seriously. My biggest problem with that is before even like Patriots fans, it's really boxing fans. Boxing fans like someone who's probably an Algieri fan. Most recently has had to keep their mouth shut, or at least hope, or they're probably making some shit up where Pacquiao was like. Or Pacquiao was like, Algieri let Pacquiao knock him out. Dude, he knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Goose, I gotta show you the video. I didn't actually show you the video, but I showed Dink. Obviously, you know who Manny Pacquiao
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Okay, alright, so this boxer, fuck his first name, Algieri, goes into the ring with him and his trainer thinking Pacquiao is old, he's gonna retire, let me put him in his place. You know, a guy from Long Island.
Right.
Yeah. So round whatever I forgot what round. Round 2 was round 2. Shit. Round 2. They bring Algieri's trainer. I forgot it was HBO. Whoever was broadcasting it at the time. They're like, let's talk to Algieri's trainer. And the dude was talking about Algieri fucking punch, like, yeah, I'm gonna tire him out. I'm not gonna do him though. I'm gonna let him have his cage at the right time. He was saying all this shit about Algieri holding back to give Pacquiao the final blow and shit. And just as he said, I'm gonna let him out of the cage, Pacquiao fucking smashed his face and knocked him down. It was perfect fucking timing.
Nice.
Because it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Pacquiao is not retired.
Yeah.
The man... Alright, listen. You're coming from the Philippines. I don't know what that's like. All I know is this. Fucking Golovkin comes from the Soviet bloc. When he was 5, his older brothers would pick random kids out of the street. Doesn't matter if they were 4 or 5 years older than them, would pick them out and tell them to fight them. And he would fight them. Golovkin would fight these since he was kindergarten. He was in kindergarten, dude. Could you imagine, like, doing something since you were 5 and doing it as an adult now?
That's
like
crazy.
second nature.
Yeah.
It's like you get fucking guys like Algieri and fucking Mayweather, who was born with a silver spoon up his ass. They don't stand a chance. And they know they don't stand a chance. That's why they're doing this bullshit. Oh, man, if I fight him, I want 100% of the contract. Like, I want $100 million, and the Russian dude gets a pack of toilet paper or some shit.
Yeah.
That's really it. That's why I hate it. That's what I hate. I don't care if he wins. It's like, are you fighting the best out there? Because that's what it's for. That's what we pay to see.
Yeah, no, it's true.
They're
It's
not
true.
fighting the best.
No, they're not fighting. They're picking and choosing.
But yeah, I mean,
But look, I'm not going to say anything about Pacquiao and Mayweather. That's a totally different story. It's just that when you think about Mayweather and the fights he picks, it's kind of like people who are coming up or are probably not ready.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing he got to like a somewhat of a close challenge was Maidana. But the thing is, Maidana is just a punching machine. He's not technical. So as soon as Mayweather figured him out, it was like, all right, all we have to do is just bounce around the fucking ring for a couple of rounds and just get him in the fucking majority decision. That's it.
Yeah.
Just get in the majority decision.
Can you imagine, like, if other sports worked the way boxing did, where you could just decide who you want to play all season?
Well, that, yeah, and the fact
Holy
that you would
shit.
have to play 5 World Series in a year,
Yeah.
that would be terrible.
And you get, like, 98% of the other teams, like, ticket prices.
Right. I mean, that would be nice as a boxer, but...
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, like, I want to see these Russians clean house for a bit, and then if that doesn't work, then I'm totally out. It's like, I don't even feel like fucking with it anymore.
Yeah.
When do you think Mayweather's going to retire?
Oh, yeah. As soon as he makes enough money to fucking blow, and then he'll come back to pick his own fights again.
Didn't he, like, blow his money when...
He blows his money every 2 fucking years. Like, every time he stops
I
boxing.
meant for the Super Bowl, okay.
What happened?
I meant for the Super Bowl. He did that with
Oh,
the
he didn't
Super Bowl.
bet. He bet like $5 million. That's like pocket change for him.
Whatever.
That was 200. All right.
Still pocket change for him.
Meh. Maybe he pays people to read for him now. Oh my god, dude, that's just fucking hilarious. That, whoever leaked that video, thank you very much. It was
That was clutch.
Good vindication for me. That made my day, night, whatever the fuck. All right, I guess we went through it. We'll wrap it up here. Join us next week or next time for a new episode. I'm Frankie.
I'm Goose.
And I'm General Dank.
And we'll see you next time. Take care. Good night.
Yeah, like the video, comment the video. And subscribe.
Oh yeah, we're on YouTube now. Do
Yeah.
that shit. All
so
right.
do that.
Night.